Hi, Anastasia. More work from you. Great. Very happy to see it. Let's take a look at what you did. This is the one about travel. Here's what you wrote. Okay, so every year the number of travelers is significantly increased. Therefore, people enjoy traveling around the world, visiting the places, climbing mountains, and dipping into the sea. Yet flights pollute the environment, travelers bother the citizens, and tourists leave garbage on the beaches. Okay, excuse me. There are a couple of areas that make this sentence a little awkward. It's a little too long, first of all. I mean, if you look at it, it's pretty much 3 lines long. When you make a sentence that long, it tends to create some awkwardness, or not it tends to create some awkwardness, but it can become awkward. You're running this risk. So avoid making sentences that are quite so long. If it goes beyond the second line, that's kind of your cue that it's too long of a sentence. So let's try it again. First of all, I didn't agree with this therefore, and I didn't agree with this passive voice increase. So let's fix those. Every year, the number of travelers increases significantly, proving that people enjoy traveling around the world, visiting new places, climbing mountains, and dipping into the sea. Full stop. Yet, flights pollute the environment, travelers bother citizens, and tourists leave garbage on the beaches. Okay, I think that made those little changes really just improve the paragraph considerably. In the modern society, but in modern society, this causes an excess of controversy. That's awkward. We don't really say that, an excess of controversy. You could have just said it causes considerable or it causes sizable controversy. All right? However, the possibility of travel is one of the best things of the 21st century. This essay will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of traveling using examples from the USA and UK university studies to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay? That's fine. So, moving on. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that visiting new places is positively, but get rid of is, positively affects, with an S, a person. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, travel, all right, you need that word there, improves, with an S, language skills, get rid of the. For example, recent empirical research by USA University showed that over 70% of survey participants improved their foreign language skills after visiting a foreign country. Okay, secondly, it must not be forgotten that traveling broadens horizons. Get rid of your is here. For instance, an extensive study by UK University demonstrated that 70% of all travelers learned something new in every journey. Okay, therefore, it is conclusively clear that traveling is an amazing choice in order to spend a vacation. All right, this is okay, but it got a little repetitive because you have, look at this, research by USA University showed that over 70%, etc. Study. I mean, all you really did was change around the words. You changed research, you made it study. You changed USA, you made it UK. And again, you didn't even change the statistic. So I'm all for using research to back up your arguments, but make sure that it's not repetitive, okay? Because that's what's happened here. And, examiners are used to seeing things like this. And so they're going to be like, not really very well developed. It's like a memorized thing, and you don't want them to have that impression. So let's see if you could have come up with maybe a different type of proof, okay? So for example, here, it broadens horizons. Rather than giving me this statistic, maybe you can tell me, for in your own words really, how it broadens horizons, okay? So you could say that they interact with people from different cultures, they learn about different languages, different religions, different cultural activities, they learn about the history of places. Okay, so you didn't really need to use a statistic here, right? I mean, as soon as you say that they broaden their horizons, I think you can pretty much tap into your own resources and think about how that happens, okay? So, let's see. All right, fine. Moving on. On the other hand, although traveling leaves, here you need an S. I like this expression, indelible impression. Leaves an indelible impression, comma, the impact of air traffic pollution, of aircraft pollution cannot be overstated. For example, a recent study by the International Civil Aviation Organization showed that aviation is the cause of around 2% of emissions, S, of global carbon dioxide. Or how about of carbon dioxide globally? That's even better. Okay, fine. Moreover, tourism can make a negative environmental impact. For instance, a recent report by WWF demonstrated that summer vacations S in Italy, not huge rise, but how about dramatically increase the plastic litter in the ocean. Thus, it is possible to state, TE, beyond doubt that traveling has a negative environmental, AL, impact. To conclude from examples and arguments given, I firmly believe that the benefits of traveling outweigh the drawbacks. It is predicted that people will travel more. No, will travel more carefully. All right. They never asked you your opinion, so you didn't really even need to state it. It just said, discuss the advantages and disadvantages, but not that you had to tell us which outweighs which. Remember that when you do have to do that and you do have to state your opinion, that the one you support should come last. Okay? So that's one thing, but it's not really relevant here because I never asked you to give your opinion. I thought that the way you organized this paragraph was better. It didn't feel as repetitive as this one, but this paragraph seemed to have more grammatical errors. So the content was good here, but grammatically it was weaker. This one had better grammar, but the content was not as strong, okay? So there are a couple of things that I want to see you improve here to really just, get rid of those errors, and you'll see you'll have a much stronger essay. What else did I want to tell you about this? I think that was it. Like I said, I liked some of your ideas here. It didn't feel quite as repetitive, so that was good. Why don't we move on to your task 1, okay? You did a nice job. Again, I think there's some things that you need to work on. I think you should have an idea now about what it is that needs a little work. Let's move on. Okay, so here you're writing to your friend about your new situation. Here's what you wrote. It's rather long, no? Let's see. Can I do a word count from Google Docs? Let me just double check. No, I don't think I can. I'd have to do it differently. I'm curious to see how long this is. It feels kind of long, but if you did it in 20 minutes, then I support that. That's fine. Let's see what you actually said. Dear John, I'm writing to tell you about my recent news. Before I already described you my previous job. You remember, to be a nurse in the Uptown Hospital is not easy work. Small medical team dealt with alcoholics, street fighters, and drug addicts. Truth to be told, it was not the best place, and I'm glad to have left. All right. Now, this is your friend John, and you're writing him a letter, and you have lots of news to tell him. So that's good. But remember that there are certain things that we do when we write our friend's letter. For example, we ask them, how are you? So that's how you need to start with a letter to a friend. Dear John, how are you? Or, Dear John, I hope everything is well. Please forgive me for not writing you sooner. I have had many changes in my life, and that is why I took so long to write. Okay, so something like that would be absolutely appropriate, but you always should write your friend, how are you? Or I hope you're doing well, something like that. Okay? So let's do it the easy way and just say, Dear John, how are you? I'm writing to tell you about my recent news. And not before, because that's not right. Before something, before the summer. Okay, so you have to say before something. Just like this, you can't use before. So you could say, in the past, I described for you my previous job. But that doesn't make sense either. It's like there's something missing here. So I want to make a couple of changes. Dear John, I'm writing to tell you about my recent news. I got a new job. You may remember that my previous job as a nurse in the Uptown Hospital was not easy work. We were a small medical team dealing with alcoholic street fighters and drug addicts. Truth be told, get rid of that too. It was not the best place, and I'm glad to have left. Okay, so you can see I kind of cleaned it up a little bit, some of the grammar, and I think it flows a little better and certainly more accurate. So I am pleased to inform you that I'm working in the hospital health and care now. It is located in the central part of our town, opposite City Gardens, near Torta Cafe. It is a huge building with floor-to-ceiling windows. Okay, well, floor-to-ceiling. How do we call them? We call them. I can't think of that. That's fine. High ceilings, flowers along the walls, and ample rooms. The hospital is fit with modern equipment and a high quality staff works there. The clients are always polite, friendly, and ready to listen. My work is appreciated and well paid. Thus, it is not possible to stay beyond doubt to state, you keep doing this, state or say, all right, that my new work is much better than the old one. Otherwise, comma, my life has not changed, full stop. I run every morning, work a lot, sometimes read fantasy books or watch novels. By the way, comma, last week I read Mistborn. It is a series of epic fantasy novels, but written by Brandon Sanderson. I would highly recommend reading it because it is really breathtaking. Please phone me on the number below or reply to this email as soon as possible. I look forward to hearing from you. All right. Now, this suddenly, Anastasia, feels very formal to me. Okay, please phone me on the number below. That's not how we end a letter to a friend. You want to say something a little warmer, like, I hope everything is well with you. Please give my love to Jane. Something like that. All right, much warmer, much friendlier, rather than please contact me below at the number below. So just something like, I can't wait to hear your news. When do you and Jane plan to visit me? I can't wait to see you both. Lots of love. Okay? So something like that would be more appropriate. You basically change your tone here. And that's something examiners are going to look at. So be careful with that. Grammar was your big error here. You had a lot of grammatical mistakes. They didn't create a strain, so it wasn't like huge problems, but they were consistent enough that it'll keep you from getting one of those higher band scores, all right? I want you to be a little more careful with some of the stuff. So let's see, do we have more essays from you? I hope so. I want to see more work from you. I think there's more work we can do. I have to take a look and see where you are in your program. If you have more essays with us, then great. Let's keep working and let's see what you write in your next set. If not, then I encourage you definitely to sign up for more. But let's take a look at where you are. Okay, so good job. Try to rectify some of these mistakes, and I look forward to seeing your next essays.